Good evening, students. So in this video, I will be discussing about biomolecules. I will be discussing about biomolecules. So biomolecules are, you can say, molecules of life. Molecules which are or which play important role to sustain our life. So what are those biomolecules? So these biomolecules belongs to carbohydrates, proteins, lipids, nucleic acids, vitamins. These are the biomolecules. These biomolecules are actually studied under organic chemistry. But actually, if you go deeper, these form a subject matter of biochemistry. And biochemistry is actually nothing but organic chemistry. So this you have to keep in mind. So organic chemistry is very important here. So carbohydrates, proteins, nucleic acid, lipids, vitamins, these are biomolecules. These are studied under biochemistry, which is nothing but organic chemistry. So biomolecules are molecules which play important life to sustain our life. They play important roles in our life. And how it supports all physiology and everything. This is very, very important for all of us. Now coming to carbohydrates. So carbohydrates are also known as hydrates of carbon. They are also known as hydrates of carbon. Their general formula is CnH2n, or you can write CxH2O whole Y. But this is not a universal formula. There are some compounds which do obey this formula also, like CH3COOH. This is acetic acid. It also obeys the formula. Like you can write like this C2H4O2. So they also have general formula C2H2O whole 2, where X and Y both are equal to 2. Now let us look at some example like glucose. So if you look at glucose molecule C6H12O6, you'll find that X is 6 and even Y is 6. So glucose obeys this formula. But there are certain molecules which don't, like rhamnose. Rhamnose don't obey this formula. The formula of rhamnose is C6H12O5. So rhamnose don't obey this formula, whereas other molecules like carboxylic acid, acetic acid obeys this formula. So this is not a universal formula of carbohydrate. Now carbohydrates are optically active. What is the meaning of optically active? They can rotate plane polarized light. So they are optically active polyhydroxyaldehydes or ketones, or which give such compound on hydrolysis, So you have to remember this. They are optically active. So they are optically active. Polyhydroxy means many hydroxy group they have. They can have either aldehyde group or ketones. Like if you think about glucose, Glucose has a aldehydic group and it has 6 carbons. So it is also called aldohexose. Aldehydic group containing 6 carbon sugar. O means sugar, Hex means 6, aldo means aldehyde. So glucose is a aldohexose. Similarly, if we see fructose, fructose is ketohexose. It is a 6 carbon sugar with a ketonic group. So that's the difference. And glucose and fructose are functional isomer of each other. They are functional isomer of each other. Functional isomer of each other. So glucose has an aldehydic group, whereas fructose has ketonic group in it. Now coming to carbohydrates, they are the compounds of carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen, in which the ratio of hydrogen is to oxygen is 2:1, as in water. So carbohydrates are also regarded as the compounds of carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen, and the ratio of hydrogen and oxygen is 2:1, as in water. So this is also important, and they are also the product of photosynthesis. So during photosynthesis, green plants manufacture carbohydrates. So these are the important definition of carbohydrates. So let us see the classification of carbohydrates. Classification of carbohydrates. So carbohydrates are basically classified into 3 different types. One type is called monosaccharides. Second type is called oligosaccharides. And third type is called polysaccharides. Monosaccharides have single sugar unit. They cannot be hydrolyzed. And oligosaccharide can be hydrolyzed. Oligo means few, so mono means one. Oligo means few, generally 2 to 10 we use. And poly means many. So on the basis of behavior on hydrolysis, carbohydrates are classified into monosaccharides. Oligosaccharides, and polysaccharides. So monosaccharide cannot be hydrolyzed. Oligosaccharide can be hydrolyzed to give 2 to 10 sugar units. Polysaccharide gives many sugar units. They are the polymers of monosaccharide. Monosaccharides are found in nature. Some of the examples of monosaccharides are glucose, fructose, ribose, galactose, etc. Keep in mind that ribose is a pentose sugar. So ribose, one of the components present in RNA, is a pentose sugar. So there are 2 types of pentose sugar that is present in nucleic acid. One is ribose, another is deoxyribose. Ribose is present in RNA, deoxyribose is present in DNA. Now oligosaccharides have 2 to 10 sugar units, or they give 2 to 10 sugar units on hydrolysis. Depending upon whether they are disaccharides, trisaccharides, tetrasaccharide, etc. So 3 disaccharides are important for your exam. The first is called sucrose, the second is called maltose, the third is called lactose. They will ask you about their formula and the hydrolytic product. So sucrose hydrolyzes to give glucose and fructose, maltose give 2 molecules of glucose, and lactose give glucose and galactose. So very important, and one of the important example of trisaccharide is raffinose. One of the important example of trisaccharide is raffinose, which on hydrolysis gave glucose, fructose, and galactose. Which on hydrolysis gave glucose, fructose, and galactose. So keep in mind that sucrose on hydrolysis, acidic medium gave glucose and fructose. Maltose on hydrolysis gave 2 moles of glucose. And lactose present in milk. Mother milk contain maximum amount of lactose, give glucose plus galactose. Keep in mind that sucrose is a non-reducing sugar. Sucrose is a non-reducing sugar. It is very important question for your exam. So sucrose is a non-reducing sugar. It cannot reduce failing solution and tolerance reagent or Benedict solution, non-reducing sugar. Whether maltose and lactose are reducing sugar. So sugar which can reduce failing solution tolerance reagents are referred to as reducing sugar. So maltose, lactose, glucose, fructose, etc. are reducing sugar. All polysaccharides are non-reducing sugar. Now coming to polysaccharides. They are generally the polymers of monosaccharides. Some of the important examples of polysaccharides are cellulose, starch, glycogen, which is also called animal starch, gums, etc. Now keep in mind, student, that glucose is the most important source of energy for mammals. It is also called grape sugar because it is present in grapes. It is also the blood sugar. Increase in this sometimes result in diabetes. So glucose formula is C6H12O6. So it is the most important source of energy for mammals. It is obtained by the digestion of starch. Now, between two monosaccharides, there is a bond that is called glycosidic linkage. So between the two monosaccharides, the bond presents are called glycosidic linkage. So this is very important. This is oxide linkage. So when these are formed, so one water molecule comes out and this forms the oxide linkage. So this is the famous glycosidic linkage present between two monosaccharides. Now keep in mind that glucose react with HI heated on prolonged heating give normal hexane. Glucose when heated with or when treated with HCN gives glucose cyanohydrine. And glucose when treated with bromine water form gluconic acid. But glucose when treated with conc HNO3 forms saccharic acid. And when gluconic acid is also oxidized by conc HNO3, it also forms saccharic acid. Glucose when treated with acetic anhydride, it forms glucose pentacetate. And when glucose is treated with hydroxylamine, it forms glucose oxime, glucose oxime. So keep these reactions in mind, student. So these are the important reactions of glucose. So when glucose is treated with HI on prolonged heating, this reaction was asked in IIT. So this was asked in IIT. So it forms normal hexane. This reaction confirms the presence of 6 carbon in a straight chain. And glucose react with bromine water to form gluconic acid. And when gluconic acid is treated with conc HNO3 or glucose is treated with conc, it forms saccharic acids. Saccharic acid is a dicarboxylic acid, whereas gluconic acid is a monocarboxylic acid. So you have to remember the formula of saccharic acid and gluconic acid. So saccharic acid is this. Acid is this. This is gluconic acid. Now coming to starch. Starch. It is the storage polysaccharide of plant. It is the storage polysaccharides of plants. It is found in cereals, roots, tubers, and some vegetables. So these are the substance which contains good amount of starch. Starch is the polymer of, it is a branched polymer of alpha D glucose. It is branched polymer. So it consists of two components. One is called the amylose, another is called the amylopectin. Amylose is water soluble, whereas amylopectin is water insoluble. It is unbranched. Amylose is unbranched, whereas and there C1 C4 glycosidic linkage is present in amylose, and amylopectin is branched, and branching is done by C1 C6 glycosidic linkage. So this you have to keep in mind, students. Amylose is water soluble, whereas amylopectin is water insoluble. So these are the important difference. It consists of 15 to 20% of starch, whereas this consists of 80 to 85% of starch. So these are the basic differences between amylopectin and amylose. Cellulose, this is exclusively found in plants, exclusively present in plants, and is the most abundant organic substance, is the most abundant organic substance in the plant kingdom. It is the constant of cell wall. It is the constituent of cell wall, plant cell wall, constituent of plant cell wall. So cell wall is exclusively present in plants. So this plant cell wall is made up of cellulose. The formula of cellulose is C6H10O5 because, and this is also the formula of starch because both are polymer, polysaccharide. It is a linear polymer. It is a linear polymer of beta D glucose. It is a linear polymer of beta D glucose. And keep in mind that starch reacts with iodine to give violet complex, blue violet complex, violet color. But cellulose will not give this test. Cellulose, iodine, no reaction. So this way you can distinguish also starch and cellulose. So starch will give the blue violet color when treated with iodine, but this test will be not given by cellulose. And cellulose has the C1, C4 glycosidic linkage is present here because there is no branching, so there is no question of C1, C6, but starch has both C1, C4, C1, C6. Now coming to glycogen. Glycogen is the animal starch. Animal starch, it is the storage polysaccharide in animal. It is stored in animal body. So carbohydrate which is stored in animal body, that is glycogen. It is also a polysaccharide. Its structure is similar to amylopectin. Structure is similar to amylopectin. And is highly branched. It is highly branched, rather more highly branched than amylopectin. Highly branched, even more than amylopectin. So this is important fact, student, keep in mind. And it is present in liver, muscles, and brain. So it is stored in these organs, brain, muscles, and liver. It is also found in yeast and fungi. So whenever body needs glucose, then this glycogen is converted to glucose by the action of hormones and enzymes. So glycogen is animal starch. It is stored in animal body. Its structure is similar to amylopectin, rather it is highly branched, and it is present in liver, muscles, and brain. It is also found in yeast and fungi. And carbohydrate plays a very important role both in plants and animals. It is a form of major portion of our food. Honey has been used as a long time, and it is an instant source of energy, honey. So, and cell wall of bacteria and plant is made up of cellulose. So a lot of furnitures are made from wood. Wood contains cellulose. So this way we see that carbohydrates are very important, and carbohydrates are also present as on the surface of the cell membrane, which is made up of proteins and lipids. So these are the important thing about a student. Thanks for watching this video. Do like and subscribe my channel for more such videos. Thank you.